So, first of all, thank you, Consul General, for coming, again, even though, he could have said, no, my job's over here, I'm not going to go anymore. He came to Markham to welcome the special delegation from Macau. I also want to say thank you to Carmen and for her leadership with the Macau Economic and Trade Association, and for her leadership of hosting the forums and continually working to connect Canada, certainly Markham and Macau. And I'm very impressed with the size of the delegation, but I'm also impressed with all the different interests and backgrounds that have formed the delegation to come and visit. So I want to get a sense, if everybody does understand me, how many people have been to Canada before and to the Toronto area? Not one? One.
The first time.
First time, everybody's the first time. So this is a very special trip for you. And I'm glad that you were able to come and visit. I also want to say that a few years ago I did have an opportunity to quickly go over to Macau and see it for the first time. It is an absolutely spectacular community, rich in history. I love the way that you've preserved the history. This is something that we really value here in the city of Markham, the preservation of the history. We actually have won 2 awards. One is the Prince of Wales Award for Heritage Preservation, and also the Lieutenant Governor's Award for Heritage Preservation. And so when I went to Macau, I saw the incredible respect that you have for the historic area and historic buildings. And I want to say, of course, it's a very lively community with all of that there is to do. But I think, what's impressed me too was, while we think of it as tourist attraction, and it is, there is a very vibrant economy that's there. And I think this is where I'd love to be able to continue to explore and make connections between the city of Markham and Macau, and think of ways that we can work with each other. Now, tourism is wonderful, and I think this being the year of tourism between Canada and China, Macau has to be a place where people go, Canadians go visit, because they won't believe what they'll see there. It's just an absolutely astounding place. And I want to congratulate you on your planning, the way that you have these beautifully designed buildings that are spectacular. It really is the envy of many communities around the world. And China is a big place. Hong Kong is a big place, although it's a small place, it's a big place. I like the way Macau has been able to set itself apart, be able to be different. And that's a big challenge in today's world. And so I think in this year of tourism between Canada and China, we should be promoting more Canadians to visit Macau and spend a little bit of money, but also see the wonderful attractions that you have, and see the other aspects of Macau that they may not have appreciated before. So probably you know this because you've been told a little bit about Markham, but I do take tremendous pride here in Markham that we have the most diverse city in all of Canada. So just like Macau, where there's other languages that are spoken, I went to, I think, one of my first meals at the bottom of the tower in Macau. I walked into the restaurant and I heard a different language. I said, is that what I think it is? And there were people speaking Portuguese right in the middle of Macau, and speaking it fluently, and again celebrating and sharing that culture. Well, that's true about Markham. We first of all call Markham the Chinese capital of the GTA, because over 40% of our population are of Asian descent. And then the next big cultural group is we have the South Asian community from Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. And then after that, the percentages drop off. They're not as big, but truly we have a reflection of almost every corner of the world. And that's made our community a very vibrant place. And people have come here with their families to start a new life, to start a new business sometimes, and have been very, very successful. And you're coming at a very good week, because this week we dubbed or proclaimed this week Innovation Week in the city of Markham. Markham is home to IBM, AMD. You probably recognize this it's a small company, Huawei Technologies. They're here in Markham as well. And just this year, General Motors opened up their first Canadian Technical Center, headquartered here. And it's over 1,000 employees, eventually 1,000 employees. 700 of them will be just software engineers working on the future car. And that's all happening here in Markham. And I have to say, it's because we have the Asian community, the South Asian community, people who've come from other parts of the world to Markham, who come here highly educated, highly skilled, and are able to work and make these IT companies very successful here in our community. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming here. Alan and myself and other members of council, we are political representatives, and government does not make a profit like some of the casinos in Macau make a profit. But you know what? We run the city like a business. We have online services. We partner with other organizations. We use technology to reduce costs. And so as much as we're government, we function, we work. When we see a problem, we try to approach it as if it was a business. Yes, we won't make a profit, but then we won't waste money either in delivering the service. And we're one of the few municipalities in Canada that has no debt at all. All of our liabilities are completely funded, so pensions for workers, time off, everything is funded. And we have the lowest industrial commercial taxes in all of the GTA. And it'll be very difficult. Maybe in China this isn't a problem, but in Canada, in Ontario, and perhaps I'll say even North America, very few municipalities think beyond the 4 years they get elected. Everybody thinks about those 4 years, but they don't think about the next 4 years and the 4 years after that and after that. We have a strategy that we put enough money away so when the time comes and we have to repair or replace our roads, our sidewalks, that beautiful Ani Community Center that you went to, we start to put money away so when it has to be replaced or repaired in 25 years, we have the money. It's not something we say, oh, let other generations, the future generations, figure out how they're going to have to pay for it. So I thank you for coming. I want to say a special thank you once again to Carmen and the Macau Association for all the work that they've done. And I also want to say I'm very pleased that the Macau Neighborhood Association has worked with the Yihong to provide a greater service to seniors in our community. So, you know, this is the beauty of Canada. People who've come from all over the world have actually strengthened our global connections, and I thank you for your interest, and I hope that I'll either see you in Macau one day, or one day you'll be back here in Canada to visit us once again. So thank you very much.